Hey guys, and welcome back to the Ramble. I am your humble hermit host, Maria Legier, and this is UN Subscribe, a fantastic title for which I have no regrets. Oh, my sweet UN, how you got me dreaming. Oh, my sweet UN, how goes your scheming? You see, your luscious Twitterati scheme seems to me to be so very lost, and so very stagnantly, so blatantly confused. Your UN women thing appears to extend beyond your UN women thing into the whole of your dirty UN thing. At a casual glance, it sure does appear as though your view on human rights, your entire attitude towards that slithering serpentine sermon of equality, seem nothing more than perfect platitudes, a dull word that lost its meaning through its intense overthought overuse, overanalyzed in smug self-righteous sheltered shells within the agoraphobic avenues of academia, that lost its meaning when once those who stepped forth proudly and courageously as the proud champions and warriors of eternally effervescent equality engaged in active warmongering and warfare all day and every night, pitting men and women against each other, trench warfare where none but those who aim to distract from other things come out on top, engaged in the dastardly doublespeak so positively popular in this decrepit day and age. When, I should much like to know, will we see a UN men to counterbalance and to counteract your gynocentric approach to human rights and to equality, where only the one matters and the other must pay the price and the cost? When will you get it into your tremendously thick and tortured tatterheads that those bastard men whose lives and whose suffering you seem intent on not only ignoring, but enabling, are not the ruling class, nor the oppressor class based on their junk simply because you exclaim that this is so? Believing in a conspiratorial fairy tale, you see, my lovely damsel in distress UN, does not mean that it is real and true beyond the confines of your echo chambers where all truth is subject to the wailing, whining whims of self-reported subjective suffering, so exceptionally eloquent in enduring denial and crisis maximizations as it has become. One should, I most preposterously dare argue, believe that an institution so high and mighty as yourself would be able to understand exactly what an apex fallacy is. Yet it most certainly does not, as you make abundantly clear through your steady salty succubus flow of vapid vain venomous tweets in which you always argue that women always have it worse, no matter the where and how and when of the thing. And on the day, the 19th of November, where men were supposed to have their achievements celebrated and their issues highlighted, you just had to go and make it about women, don't you know? For women never get highlighted or celebrated apparently as your filthy, bloated, decadent, ass-hat, smelly pants, syphilitic, coprophiliac, sheltered, selfish, egotistical, fun-stealing, lying through your teeth, single-celled organism will have us believe. Excepting when they do, which is supposedly and apparently is to be all day, every day, all year, even as you make the claim that men are the ones celebrated and with issues highlighted all day, every day, all year. Such brilliant projection. Even on that one day where men are supposed to be celebrated and have their issues highlighted, women are to be celebrated and have their issues highlighted. You know, those male issues you so vehemently deny exist, which you, when you can no longer deny it, turn upon its head and blame it once again on men, eternal actors and agents as we are, as opposed to women who are, through the ignorant eyes of your imbecilic ideology, absolutely incapable of acting as agents in the world, mere objects to whom things just happen, why not? Oh my dear UN, how goes your tinkle tweeting? Oh my dear UN, is that you that I hear bleating? For your illustrious illusionary ideals, your inconsistently illuminated ideology is nothing more and nothing less than what has always been and what will ever be, with nothing altered but a fresh new coat of paint that tries and fails to hide the rust and rot beneath. Your glorious, gargantuan, gynocentric guy rating is genuinely grotesque, yet it stands as nothing but an ancient age-old chivalry, yet it stands as nothing but one more harrowing hallowed hallmark of hallucinatory gynocentrism. An idea as old as the caves in which man lived ages past. Women must be protected for the good of the tribe, for the continuation and survival of the tribe. Damseling and women worsting, why the hell not? It's worked so well for all of eternity, you know. Men, whose lives and well-being you clearly see as useless, fruitless, worthless, pointless, unless their existence is to be that of providers and protectors, self-sacrificing to the extreme in order that the women, and maybe the children, shall not only live and not only survive, but that they shall thrive. Men, you make it painfully and abundantly clear, deserve neither well-being nor life nor praise, and especially not to thrive, even on a day supposedly dedicated to celebrating them and to highlight those issues that are majority theirs. Now, of course, I get it, dear. I saw it through your tweet and twatter, read it in the bylines of your burly bygone bloodletting. Men exist merely to sacrifice, or to be sacrificed, upon your preciously preserved preposterous pussy altar. Yet, one should think it possible, one should think it probable, one should think it precious of you to put down your gigantic gynocentric gauntlet for a day and celebrate men, the achievements of men and the value of men for but one single day. To leave us one day free of your chronically constipated case of cockadoodle complaints, your shaming and your browbeating. To give us this one day supposedly there to celebrate men without feeling the need to point out the one fact that all of us who have gobbled red pills are so well aware of. Men can only be seen as worthy human beings through what they can do for women. The measure of a man's worth is what he can do for women, how he can support women. Nothing inside himself is of any worth or value to such high and mighty fucktards as yourself. He is not, and he has not, nor shall he ever be or ever have, any value in and of himself. You make this abundantly clear. Oh, my sweet UN, how goes the wielding of your iron glove? Oh, my sweet UN, I suspect you mistook servitude for love. The measure of a man's worth, my defunct darling UN, ought to be measured by more than what he can do for women. This is something which you clearly cannot see. Something which you, quite obviously and blatantly and clearly enable with your magnificent might, your insufferable inconsiderate influence. You know, those pesky things which you yourself believe that women do not have, despite your frail and frantic, faulty, fragile feminist fuckery managing to slither its way into every puzzling and perplexingly powerful part of our socially suicidal societies, taking control of the reins only to use said reins to beat our boys into a bloody pulp of self-sacrificial simping servants. Only to whip our men into compliance with your whining, wailing, weeping wish that men shall exist as nothing but a shameful, soulless servant to that superior saint you made of women. It should not be that difficult to speak but one good word about men in general, without having to point to your preposterously pestilent proposal that men's only worth, men's only value to the world and to society, lies in what men can do for women. In ourselves, you make it clear, my dear UN, we have no value. For just one day, none of you so-called champions of earnest equality saw fit to celebrate men. For just one day, you could not shut up about what you so cuntishly consider to be the faults and flaws and failures of men. Failures, flaws and faults which, I cannot stress this enough, according to your vicious, vile and venomous view, vividly and wide-eyedly viewed through your vague and voluminous vaginal viewpoint, without any wandering doubt on my part, come from nothing but us being born as brutish boys, later to become such malicious masculine men, a force that, through your eyes, is seen as nothing but an extreme and negative destructive force. Let's celebrate men on this day for men by putting men down and making it all about women, why don't we? Just as it always is, was, ever shall be. You have earned neither my respect nor my trust. Fuck you, my dear UN. Fuck you. And fuck off. And that, I think, was that for this ramble. I hope you enjoyed it more than my previous ramblings. Thank you very much for listening. Please check out the links down below if you wish to support my further descent into insanity, my caffeine addiction, and my emoticon addiction. I'll catch you next time. This is Maria Legier, signing off.